Hey guys, just sectional balance here. Wow, that was a weird card, and I won't lie to you, that was hard. Um, I don't know how I came out on top, but man, that was hard. We at one point were down 10K, finished near 2K. So I have a tournament in the mornings or in the afternoon, so I gotta hit the hay here soon. So I gotta just make this quick. Holloway versus Allen. Oh, not quick, but I'm gonna try to get through it as quick as I can. Um, yeah, guys. Let's start with the robbery of the night first. So we had Lucy Pudilova versus Jocelyn Edwards. This is where I really screwed up. I took a lot of I put a lot of money on Pudilova live after round two, just because I knew she won the first two. What I didn't know was that the judges had their own agenda. And in the third round, Edwards clearly, in my opinion, won the third round, which, or not clearly, but she won the third round, but not by much. In my opinion, I thought Pudilova won 3-0. Definitely 2-1 though, no argument about that. And the judges somehow gave 2 rounds to Jocelyn Edwards, which is absolutely blasphemy. In the first round, I mean, is it the worst robbery I've ever seen in my life? And I think the judges should be fined and sent to prison. No, it is not the worst robbery I've ever seen in my life. I got to be honest with myself. Edwards was doing a lot of work in that first round, and then she reversed the takedown in the first round. So you always got to remember that. But in my opinion, and even though she did good work in the first round, it still wasn't enough, in my opinion, to steal her that round. And following the next round, it could have been a 10-8 round. Lucy Pudilova almost got her out of there. She was beating her up. Edwards was really in a lot of trouble in that second round. Pudilova made her look really bad. Where I screwed up was I was content on the fact that I thought Lucy was up. What I have to always take into account is judging is always off. So I always have to take that consideration. And at the time, the odds were plus 250 to plus 2,500 for Edwards. So the arbitrage was there, and I didn't take it because I was that confident. Um, I'm really, really upset with my performance, with the live betting with this fight, really set me back. I was down over 8K, I think, because of this fight. Really unfortunate. We cashed the underdog, but not the way I wanted. Yeah, really, this fight left a really bad taste in my mouth. But if I have to do this, it's why I do the UFC ones with so much enthusiasm. Uh, Even though she can't make the damn weight, wait, who would she be fighting next? In my opinion, after just beating Pudilova, um, I think a next up matchup for her could be a Julia Storolenko, easy win, or a Josiane Nunes. That would be a fun one. I'm gonna go with Josiane Nunes just because I believe she needs to pay for that. I think she could steal the height train of Nunes. I think she's a better striker than Nunes, um, but I just think Nunes hits hard. I want to see that fight next. Moving on. And Lucy, because in my opinion she won that fight, I think she should fight maybe a Tamaris Vidal or a maybe like a Ji Kim, someone like that. But yeah, really unfortunate for Lucy. She won that fight in my opinion. But yeah, moving on, we had Gaston Balanos versus Aaron Phillips. Now, I'll be honest with you, I stopped watching the fights up until Pierre Rodriguez, that fight. I was really upset with how I performed, and yeah, I was panicking. I didn't know what to do. I made 12 grand the previous night just to lose 10 grand. So I had to really come up with some good plays, and that I did. But let's start with the fights that I didn't watch. So apparently, from what I was told, Gaston Bolonos did what he needed to do on the feet, landed the effective shots, and stayed out of danger. Where Aaron Phillips was just the same type of fighter he was, doesn't have a lot of urgency, and isn't that great. Um, Yeah, really unfortunate. He's got good guys in his corner. He still can't get the job done. Um, yeah, back to the regional scene for you, my man. Um, Gaston Bolonos is 7-3 now. He's a UFC fighter. Excited to see his future. But yeah, let's see who Mr. Bolonos will be fighting next. It's just crazy how there's guys in the UFC scratching or guys trying to get into the UFC, and then you see Bolonos 7-3 in the UFC. It makes no sense to me, but whatever. Um, so Bolonos is a bantamweight, so I think he should fight Damon Blackshear. I think that's a fight to make. And the loser of that fight, I usually don't even do the loser, but let's give Phillips Oliveira or cut him. I'm good with either. Moving on, we have Denise Gomez versus, or we had Bruna Brazil taking on Denise Gomez. I thought she could keep it too pretty, and she was looking pretty. I mean, I didn't watch much of the fight, but she was looking all right. The power shots of Denise Gomez and that pace and pressure was just too much for Bruna. Beating girls who aren't that aggressive and scary. Now you're finally fighting a butch. It's kind of intimidating, probably. You probably got the also adrenaline dump, you know. It is what it is. Bruna Brazil lost. Denise Gomez with the win. Kind of should have read into this. It's accounted for the adrenaline dump. Usually, the Dana White Contender Series guys, especially when they're not that experienced, tend to have adrenaline dumps. Um, but yeah, good performance by Denise Gomez. Good finish. I don't know if she picked up a bonus, but good win. Um, yeah, let's see who these two should fight next. Um, let's see. So we have Denise Gomez. I would like to see her versus Jacqueline Omarim or fight Maria Oliveira. But if I could have my choice, it'd be Maria Oliveira. And then if I could see who Brazil would fight next, I would like to see Estela Nunes versus Brazil. That would be a good one. But yeah, moving on, we had Daniel Zellhuber by unanimous decision, and that's exactly what he did. Put on a clinic. Lando's definitely seen his better days. I think he's done facing the top contenders. Great performance by Mr. Zellhuber. Yeah, definitely wish I put more stake into him and actually watched this fight live. Probably would have got a nice live betting opportunity. Maybe. I don't know. I didn't see the odds. But yeah, good win for Daniel. Let's see who Mr. Zellhuber will fight next. I think is his lightweight. Um, yeah. So Zellhuber. Okay. So I think a good fight for Zellhuber would be Yanal Ashmuz. Or maybe an Otman Azayatar. I like to see Zahua versus an Otman Azayatar next. And then I'd like to see um I'd like to see Venata face a guy like, I don't know, Victor Martinez or a Mike Breeden type of guy. I think you should get one of those guys. Let's give him Malquiz Costa next. Moving on. We have Jillian Robertson, where we had Pierre Rodriguez versus Jillian Robertson. Pierre Rodriguez got exposed. Her grappling isn't great. By not great, I mean blue belt, purple belt at best. Jillian Robertson exposed her, made her look really bad on the ground. Yeah, good win for Jillian. I arbitraged her by sub, so luckily we didn't lose anything on this fight. Yeah, really unfortunate though. I thought Pierre was gonna win this fight and shut up all the Jillian riders. They wouldn't have picked her back when she was fighting Macy Barber. So I don't know. That girl will always be there for me. The girl who quits when things kind of get really tough. I'm not saying she's a quitter. I'm saying how when she faces girls who actually know what they're doing, she tends to quit. Um, but yeah, Anyways, good win for Jillian. Let's see who that will catapult her to fight next. 115. And I know some people give her slack saying how she's like looking like Brian Stan. I don't see that. I think she's actually pretty hot. If I woke up next to her, I'd be a pretty happy guy. Um, but speaking of that, I'd like to see her fight Sam Hughes. That's a fight I want to see her fight. Sam Hughes or yeah, liver Sam Hughes. That's a fight I want to see. And then as for Piera, that's her friend. Um, give her Jessica Penne, I guess. I don't know how the heck she's number 15, but give her Jessica Penne, I guess. Cynthia Calvillo got cut, so that kind of takes that off the table. Moving on, though, we had Zach Cummings taking on Ed Herman. I heard some recent news that Cummings had some health problems. I wish I would have ignored that because I would have cashed a good amount on Cummings. Yeah, Herman's terrible. He's tough, but that's about it. Um, two illegal up kicks just kind of shows where he's at in his career. He's done. Um, good happy retirement for Ed. He's always gonna be a legend. I remember watching him on The Ultimate Fighter, being a fan, always thinking he's gonna have a high potential, but he never kind of he never really lived up to his potential. But yeah, good career for Herman. I don't know if Cummings retired too, but they had an emotional moment. Was a weird fight. Cummings got the finish, but kind of took him too long, in my opinion. I think he could have got him out of there a lot earlier. But yeah, good one for Cummings. I really hope he doesn't fight again. He's what, 38 years old? I mean, he's not terrible or anything, but he's just like the motivation isn't there. And if you're fighting for no motivation, might as well just fight guys like I don't know. I think he should fight maybe Anton Turkalij, someone who won't try to kill him. Give him Anton Turkalij. Anyways, moving on, we had Mateus Nicolau as one of our confident predictions versus Brandon Royval, and boy were we wrong. Um, yeah, Royval slapped him with a knee up the middle. Nicolau finally got his chin cracked. Um, I do think he got exposed a bit. Not saying like he's a bad fighter or anything, just that he got chinned by Royval, you know. I'm not saying Royval is also the bad fighter. It's not something that's supposed to happen. I thought Nicola had that in the bag. Really unfortunate. But it is what it is. I can't cry over spilled milk. But yeah, that sucked. Um, yeah. But yeah. Let's see who, because that this is a really interesting one because Nikolai was like a fighter, one fight away from a title shot. So let's see where this puts Royval. Now, with Nikolai number 6, Royval being number 5 now, that should move him up. And I think that means he should fight Kai Kara France next. That makes the most sense to me. Or, if he really feels risky, he could test his ranking against a Muhammad Bakayev. But I wouldn't advise that. But I'd love to see it. If it was up to me, I'd see him fight Bakayev. Anyways, Nicolau, I'd like to see you fight Jeff Molina. Oh, Jeff. I wonder how he's going to come back. Moving on. We had Bill Algeo taking on TJ Brown. The lock of the card was starting to look really sketchy in the first round, getting pieced up by TJ Brown. That's something I'm going to have to take note of. Bill Algeo is way too hittable. Um, he's good, but he's not as good as I thought he was. He got the finish. Really happy about that. Good win for him. Saved me a little big on this card. But yeah, I was really unimpressed with the striking. That was really annoying. He was like leaning. He'd like throw a fadeaway. He'd like a drive-by cross, but like his chin would still be high up. It would just be really frustrating things to watch. But he had a cool post-fight interview and good finish celebration. I'm really happy about that. Lock of the card came through. Algio for the win. Let's go. But yeah, moving on. We had Rafa Garcia versus Clay Guida. Rafa, my man. Yeah, I'm kind of disappointed he didn't get a finish against a guy who's 41 years old, but Clay's tough, so hopefully that's the reason why he didn't get the finish. Not that he's terrible. But yeah, Rafa Garcia, he's a gamer, but I don't know how high his ceiling really is in this sport. He seems like he's decent everywhere, but nothing's like exceptional. Anyways, great performance by Rafa. Good win, easy win. I thought the success train was going to continue, but then oh, my bad. I still have to give you guys an opponent for Mr. Algio. That's why some things felt a little fast. So yeah, Algio, in my opinion, so Algio should be up here, and he just fought TJ Brown. And Algio's up here. I think a cool next fight for him would be a Ricardo Ramos. That would be a fun one. Oh yeah, you already lost Ricardo Ramos. Okay, then let's see him fight. Uh, let's see him go with Josh Coolabell. That'd be a fun one. Or Pat Sabatini. One of the two. Let's go Coolabell though. And TJ Brown, let's see you go with Steve Garcia. Moving on. Rafa Garcia and Clay Guida. Let's see who they get to fight next. Um, Clay, I'm sorry, but you're not gonna have if it was up to me, you'd be fighting Gennaro Valdez. Um, and then as for the winner of the fight, Garcia, um, I like this fight for him. Two of them, both of them just came off a win, didn't take much damage. I think Ignacio Bahamondes would be a cool next fight for him. Moving on though, we had Pedro Munoz, or no, we had Chris Gutierrez taking on Pedro Munoz. I thought he'd be too clean, too technical, be too much of a problem on the feet. I should have trusted the veteran with the more tools in the toolbox. That was my fault. Gutierrez got exposed. Good win for Pedro, proving that he's still there in the division. Um, but yeah, I definitely was expecting that. Kind of screwed the pooch there a little bit with live betting, but I could have made 300 either way, and I end up losing 7 units. That just proved to you how dumb I was live betting tonight. I made a few errors that I just can't believe I did. But anyways, yeah, Pedro Munoz with a win. The first round he dropped him, and I just thought from there it was not looking good. And then the second round he kind of didn't drop him, but he was landing the most effective shots. He was doing the most work. I thought Pedro Munoz won 30-27, so the judges saw the same. Good win for Pedro Munoz. Um, I love to see the next fights for him because he's still pretty high up in the division, so a lot of good fights for him. Where is Mr. Pedro? So Pedro just had a great win over Gutierrez. So Pedro, I think a cool next fight for Pedro would be an Umar Nurmagomedov or a rematch with Rob Font. I'm gonna go with Umar, but I wouldn't mind the rematch either. But yeah, moving on. We had Tanner Bozer to win in the second round, and turns out Tanner Bozer, well, I'm gonna pick my words carefully because he's still a very scary man, and I'm very much intimidated by him. I don't think he's UFC material. If I like, he's a very dangerous man on the feet, but that's like you can't be getting dropped like that by Ion Cutelaba. Like, I mean Glover did, but like, and then round one Eon's a problem, but I don't know. And it was a bad stoppage, so I can't totally blame Bozer. But Bozer wasn't doing anything. Like he just isn't at that level in my opinion. But he's there. He showed up. He fought. Got to give him credit. So. But yeah, Ian Cutelaba, good, or I can't say good win, but he won. Good performance, I will say. Um, at light heavyweight, there's not a whole lot of options for you. Um, Kutalaba. Where are you ranked, Mr. Kutalaba? All right, you're number 22, and okay. So in my opinion, an Ion Kutalaba should fight a Jimmy Crute next if Jimmy Crute doesn't get the rematch with Manyfield, or a Felipe Lins. That would be a good one for me. I'm gonna go Felipe Lins though. And then Tanner Bozer, I think you should be cut or fight March and Prachnio. Anyways, moving on. We had Dustin Jacoby um by decision. It was looking like it could have cashed. He won the third round in my opinion, but he's just he's so hittable. Um he's getting older. I'm surprised he could scramble so well, but he's just yeah, he's not a title challenger. Asmat Murzakanov isn't one either, but he's more of a problem in MMA than Dustin Jacoby in my opinion. Asmat can crack. He's explosive. His footwork's good. His wrestling's good. I think Asmat's gonna be a problem in the division. Champion, yeah, I don't know about, but definitely gonna be a problem in the division. Good win over a game fighter like Dustin Jacoby. It's not an easy task for sure. Dustin Jacoby's now number 14, or was number 14, with Murzakanov stealing that spot. I think Murzakanov should get a Paul Craig next or a Ryan Spann just to speed track him to that top 10. If it was up to me, go against Ryan Spann because I dislike Ryan Spann. Moving on, we had oh yeah, and Mr. Jacoby, um, Jacoby, I want you to fight Carlos Ulberg. That would be a good one. Moving on, though, we had the co-main event of the evening. One of my decently confident predictions, Edson Barboza as the underdog, came through with a statement first round finish. I knew Quarantillo was susceptible to getting KO'd, and that's what happened. Um, he just leans so much with when he strikes, when he does his combinations. I knew there's so many setups for Edson, and he took advantage. Um, yeah, definitely really happy about that. Made a good amount back from that. Actually, it made us have a profitable day because of that. So really, really happy about that. Scared money don't make money, baby. Anyways, yeah. The if I could see Edson, because Edson just fought what weight class? 145. Um, yeah, who would Mr. Edson fight at? Because Mr. Quarantello, 17. 14. I think in Dan Ige would be a fun one. That would be a good one. Dan Ige. Or a Giga Shikadze, one of the two. I'm gonna go with Dan Ige though. Or actually no, Shikadze fought Barboza and beat him, so yeah, Dan Ige. But yeah, moving on. We had the main event. We had a confident prediction of Max Holloway beating Allen by decision, and what do you know? He won by decision. Another statement performance by Holloway. He is, you know, I think he is definitely changing his style as to the more damage he takes. I don't think it's sustainable much longer, but I do think he is a really good fighter, and he had fought a really good fight tonight. Yeah, 30. He cashed 5 units for us, so really, really happy with the Bless Express. With Max, it's like I think for Arnold, there's more options than there is with Max. I think with Arnold, the best option for him would be Brian Ortega. And then for Max, I think I think Josh Emmett would be a good next fight for him. And then after he beats a Josh Emmett or maybe an Ilya Topuria, I think he should get the next title shot. But yeah, it's weird. It's a weird position losing to Volkanovski 3 times. It's a really weird position. But good job, Max. Great win. Definitely a legend of the sport. Love watching his fights. Saved the night for me, or Barboza did, but he helped too. Really happy with how I finished. Not happy with the total result of the card. The predictions were awful. 8-6 on predictions. So really not happy with my performance tonight, but we got the job done. So that's all that's important. All right, guys. It's getting late. I gotta go to bed. I'll see you next time, guys. I'll try to get the timestamps out in the morning after my tournament, but yeah, I got a tournament in the morning and gotta get some rest. So until next time, guys. Over and out. We got two Bellator and two bare knuckle SC cards plus a UFC card. We got a busy week next week. So until next time, Lego.